I saw Pac 20 minutes before he got shot. I saw Pac in Vegas, about to get into the car. He was coming out the hotel. And we walked off, and we got in the cab, and they got in the Bentleys and all that other stuff. And, you know, we went on to another party, and 20 minutes later, we heard Pac got shot.
I was at Warren G's house in the living room. I think we was playing a video game, and we kept getting a whole bunch of calls and pages. Somebody told us to turn on the news, and we turned the news on, and we seen the little shit.
I remember calling Afeni and saying, Faye, do I need to get on a plane right now? She said, Jada, he's going to be okay. You get here when you can.
I drove down there to the hospital because I wanted to see my nigga, you know what I'm saying, make sure he was straight. I'm thinking that he was going to make it.
It was Pac. He'd been shot before. Fine.
Our first reaction was, again? You know what I mean? And then he was like, oh, he going to be all right because, you know, this is after he got shot 5 times.
He was like a cat with like 9 lives.
I had went to see him when he was still alive. And I said a little prayer to him in his head and held his hand and whispered at him, you know, said my piece with him. You know, he didn't have no consciousness, but I felt like my spirit and his spirit connected, and I felt like he got it.
When I heard that Tupac died, I was cooking in the restaurant. It was a sports bar, so there was a big TV screen, and we all just kind of watched it, just like, you know, just dazed.
My mother knocks on the hotel door. Will opens the door. Soon as I see her face, I knew he was gone.
I cried like my mother cried when Marvin Gaye died.
A lot of people that worked at the job that I worked at didn't understand Tupac or didn't understand the music, so we're looking at us like, what's wrong? What's the big deal? Get over it. And it's like, nah, this is a really fucked up day. For the longest, I think anybody who had something to do with hip-hop and loved the music there was a sense of mourning for a long time.
We met at Baltimore School of the Arts. It was the first day, and he came over to me and introduced himself. And in high school, Pac was a little funny looking. Definitely, from looking at him, wasn't necessarily like the type of cat that I would even like deal with, you know. But as soon as he approached me, he was like a magnet. It was like once you paid attention to him, he kind of sucked you in. And we hit it off from that moment on. He would tell me all the time, Jada, you're going to be a star. You know what I mean? I'm like, Pac, come on. He's like, you're going to be a star. You got it. You just got it. I don't think either one of us really thought that we would have made it in the way that we did. But we knew we were going to do something. He was one of my best friends. He was like a brother. And sorry. He was I mean, it was beyond friendship for us, you know, as far as just, it was really difficult to explain because the type of relationship we had, you only get that once in a lifetime, so he was like a brother, father figure to me. Very protective, and we took really good care of each other. We took really good care of each other, the best that we could. But we gave We gave each other a lot.
What people don't know is that he really kept, you know, me and my wife together too, because there came a point in time where I just felt like I didn't need to be, you know, in a relationship, you know what I'm saying, because it was becoming a headache to me, and all these girls wanted to be with me, and I was like, you know, fuck that. I can have any bitch I want. And, I mean, we was flying back from Belize, and a gang of the homies, you know what I'm saying, from Def was like, yeah, man, fuck that bitch. My baby mama ain't shit. They was telling me about how their relationships is, and Pac just was like, man, fuck that. That's your son's mother. You love her. She the only one that gonna love you. Just the shit he was saying was, it was like real, you know. And it was sounding crazy coming from him because he didn't have no relationship like that. But for him to tell me that, the shit really stuck in my heart. When I got home, you know, we pieced it back together, and me and my wife, you know what I'm saying, we worked it out and eventually got married, you know what I'm saying. It was like, I gave him a lot of credit for that because I didn't have no direction. I didn't have nobody to talk to, and I was like young and I didn't really know. So, you know, his advice stood out more than the negative advice did.
He been everywhere. He lived in New York, Oakland, here, there. He had so many stories. He had so many, you know what I mean? Everybody else was from one hood. We could tell you about how it is in our hood. He could tell you about how it was in different hoods all over. He could tell you about how it was in the Black Panthers. He could tell you, you know what I mean? So anybody who didn't listen to Pac and just shrugged off what he was saying is just, this nigga just out here talking or whatever. It was missing a jewel, was missing something that they could have took with for the rest of their life, and I'm glad that I was. He was so much of an influence, you know, he with me forever. You know what I mean? For life.
He stands out as a warrior. He was always, I guess, fighting for a cause of freedom, you know, I guess to get free on the outside. When, you know, in reality, the freedom is inside, and he was just dealing with so much. So, he, you know, he was just always warring for us and making us understand that he was within the struggle with us.
Tupac is the largest selling rap artist, you know, and I think that's because of his consistency and his work ethic. You know, there's still new albums that haven't been fully, you know, released on his music. There's new music to come like that. It's not even over yet. You know, like when people have sightings of Elvis material he's our Elvis.
I always knew that Tupac was talented and creative. But the other thing I always knew was the weight that he carried. He came here, the son of a person who was a radical in this country. This country does not look kindly on those people. So I always understood that Tupac couldn't just be an entertainer. He had to understand who he was, and that didn't mean running around dancing and jumping up and down. You know, I'm a dance through everything. I don't believe you can. So I always knew that Tupac was special. That is not to say that I ever had a clue that Tupac would be the person that he was, produce the material that he produced, and have the perseverance that he had and the passion that he had. I didn't know that any more than anybody else did. But I did know that my son was special, and I taught my children that they were special.
When we were children, Tupac was a butthead, and he was a typical older brother. He would tie my dolls by the neck and hang them and use them as piñatas. When it was his night to wash the dishes, if mommy wasn't there, he would beat me up if I didn't do it, or lock me in a closet. You know, I was afraid of the dark. That was the average family life that we had. When we just had a family meeting and mom told us about something, a bill couldn't get paid or a struggle we was about to face, it was clear with the two of us that all I had to do was be a little girl and he would take care of it. our conversations then turned into, don't worry, said, I'm going to make sure things are okay. He was completely nurturing and actually maternal. So he was our provider. I mean, if you think about it, even to when he died, he was 25, no kids, no wife, no anything, and he actually took care of his entire family. And that was him.
Tupac was a complete man. And looking at that movie, we realized once again how much we missed him in our life. We missed his laughter. We missed his criticism. We missed his energy all day. We missed his anger because his anger helped motivate us. His anger was because he saw more greatness in us than we saw in ourselves. And he thought we were a little too slow on the get up. So we missed that. I missed that. I guess he had to die so that we could sit and talk about him because he liked that. So he loved the fact that somebody's talking about him all the time, that his music is heard, that he still causes controversy, that people still wonder whether he's dead or alive, that people still argue about him, that some people like him, some people don't, some people are imitating him, that there's the controversy. He loved that. He's not somewhere quiet. He's probably somewhere cracking up because he was a jester.
What made Tupac happy is to see his family succeed, and see his family. He was a family person. He was Tupac. He never changed. I mean, when he became a star and stuff, he still acted like Tupac was of old. I couldn't see nothing different, except he just had them bodyguards watching after me, you know.
I learned from Tupac that you can do and be whatever you want to be in this world, and you could really come and start from nothing. He proved that to me. I've seen it with my own eyes, because it's not like we came from a family of lawyers and doctors. No. Drug dealers, militants, drug abusers. He pulled up from all that and did his thing. And he proved that you can do it.
I'm not going to say he had a charmed life, but he was blessed. And you already knew that he was blessed. People was attracted to him. I mean, people used to fight to babysit him. The whole neighborhood, man, all the girls, the pretty girls, you know. He was a ladies' man. Yeah, he was a ladies' man at 1 year old. I mean, it was quite obvious that that boy was going to be something special. Quite obvious.
He was a loving person, and you know, he was our friend. He was our family member. He was someone who was dear to us. And you know, the loss, you know, of him was just very devastating, and you know, very real.
A lot of little things that he did inspires my life today to make me who I am, and I love him. And I'm grateful to God and to his mom and daddy and to my mother and to all my family for cultivating a person like Tupac in my life.
Pac had a crazy impact on my life. Every level of my family is affected by him right now, to this day. You know what I mean? He still support the whole family. You know what I mean? He still pay for kids' Pampers and shit. You know what I mean? He still putting food on people's tables and paying for Thanksgiving and Christmas and shit like that. So he affected my life like a motherfucker. Pac, for us, the outlaws, the younger dudes in the family, he was like our champion. When everybody was like, yo, them niggas ain't shit, they ain't doing shit, they sitting around, they lazy, they don't want to do shit. Pac would be like, nah, fuck that. They ain't lazy. Them is my niggas, they rapping, that's what their job is. They rapping, they alright. Pac was the one that stuck up for us. Like, nah, that ain't what's going on. Nah, they ain't doing that. They rolling with me.
Tupac was an old soul, an old spiritual soul, knowing things, having the wisdom of someone having been here for 70 years, that was shoved into this crazy 17-year-old body. She used to tell me, yeah, but I'm not your typical 23-year-old. And after I knew him for 2 or 3 years, he used to say, put that in the legacy. Write that down in the legacy. And I thought, boy, this ain't no legacy. And it was.
I've been in the ghettos of America, and they love Pac. You know, they call him the Black Jesus. He was sent here to save us. That's what a lot of real cats, I mean murderers, killers, carjackers, whatever you want to name. When I go to a ghetto, my pass is unlimited. You know, I hit any ghetto in America, and they know I'm not a police. They know I'm not no hook. They know I'm real. They know I mess with Pac, and they love Pac. So they open me with open arms. So that's what I really love, that he created something that he never got to see.
My sister was graduating from elementary in 1994, and Tupac was paying for her dress and all of her accessories, and he said, okay, so the next thing we need to do is get ready for prom. And she said, no, my prom wouldn't be coming up too soon, Shauna's would. So he said, okay, we'll plan for her prom. We would talk about it and joke here and there saying, okay, it's coming, it's approaching, prom time is almost here, are we still going? Like, yeah, we're still going. I told you we're going. So I went ahead, I had my dress made. Prom came around June 7th, 1996. Limo picked me up, and he told me, he's like, you look beautiful. I've never seen you dress up like this. When we were walking in, all the kids are like, we danced one song, and then we left. I think the world's lost a good person, and a lot of people didn't see the real him.
Poeta, Biggie's mum, said he was really upset by Tupac's death.
I was more shocked than anything, you know what I'm saying? But I wasn't more shocked of him dying, I was more shocked of him. Pac is a strong dude, yo. I know Duke, you know what I'm saying? Right. He's real strong. So when they was like, he got shot, I was just more like, again? You know what I'm saying? He always getting shot or shot at. He gonna pull through this one again, make a few records about it, and it's gonna be over, you know what I'm saying? But when he died, I was just like, whoa. You know what I'm saying? It kind of took me by. I mean, even though we was going through our drama, I would never wish death on nobody, you know what I'm saying? Because ain't no coming back from that. So it kind of turned me down a little bit. But at the same time, you know, you got to move on. You know, I felt for his moms, for his family or whatever, but, you know, things got to move on, you know?